Hey Frag fam, what is going on? I hope you guys are all doing well today. Elliot here and welcome back to The Fragrance Well. Guys, I did it. I did another weekly fragrance rotation in succession. I said I was going to try to start doing these again, and at the worst I was going to try to do them at least every other week, but hey, I got one this week, and you know what? It was a good week for fragrances. I actually got 10 for the week, so I did a lot of double wears within a few days. I haven't done that in a long time. I guess I was just in the mood for it last week, or should I say my schedule kind of worked out to where it made sense for me to kind of try that out, if you will. But yeah, got 10 fragrances for this previous week's fragrance rotation. As always, I'll kind of state why I chose what I chose. Sometimes it's just going to be because that's what I was in the mood for. Other times it's going to be it matched that occasion or worked out for that day, etc., etc. We'll go into it. But yeah, 10 fragrances as opposed to, what did I have, 4 last week? So yeah, got a lot more fragrances to talk about for this one. Hope you guys had a good week, by the way. My week was a little bit up and down. There were some high points, there were some low points, but overall it was a productive week, so I'm not complaining. All right, let's go ahead and get right into it. Before we do, as always, please remember to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you do like the content, and please hit that bell icon and enable notifications so you can be notified when I upload new videos. Let's get into it. All right, guys, so we're starting off with Sunday, and that was Easter Sunday, by the way, and it's going to be from Louis Vuitton. It is Lovers. Louis Vuitton LV Lovers. So we didn't go to church or anything for Easter Sunday, but we did go to a brunch. My wife found out that one of our favorite restaurants was hosting an Easter brunch. I don't know if they've always done that, but we knew about it this year, and we thought, hey, that's the perfect thing to do. So it was me, my wife, my mother, who was in town visiting her grandchild, and my daughter. And I already knew I just wanted to wear something that smelled nice, wasn't a hard reach, nothing just completely head turning. I just wanted to wear something that can kind of work for anything, including an Easter brunch, and that was the case. And also, this wasn't like a rooftop bar vibe or anything. This was mostly families there. So anyway, Louis Vuitton Lovers, fresh, woody fragrance overall. Really smooth and not really fully creamy feel, but kind of a soft feel overall. Really nice ginger in the scent. Cedar sandalwood combination, kind of similar to Le Labo Santal 33. And a really nice, spicy, bitter green characteristic from Galbanum, and a little bit of a musky feel as well. It's a great smelling scent. It's one you can kind of use for anything. It's another one in the lineup of Louis Vuitton fragrances that are not like groundbreaking, but they are blended really, really nice, smell great, and you can use them for anything and people will enjoy them. That's how I feel about this scent. That's pretty much why I went with it for that day, and that's pretty much all we did. After that, I think we stopped by a store and came home. So Sunday was a relatively chill day for me, and it needed to be because I was quite tired. So once again, from Louis Vuitton, this is LV Lovers. All right, guys, we're going to move on to Monday's wear, and that one's coming from Roja Parfums. It is Isola Blu. Roja Parfums, Isola Blu. I forgot to mention in the intro, this is a good week of fragrance wears because I got back to a number of fragrances I either haven't worn in a long time or ones I've been looking forward to wearing. This one's kind of both. More so, I've just been looking forward to wearing since it is much warmer now. We're getting some pretty warm days. I wouldn't say it's full-blown summertime yet, but it's hot in the middle of the day. It's still cooling off in the evening, though. Monday for me was pretty much a work day. I had to go install my equipment somewhere, but it was somewhere relatively closer to home, so this was not an out-of-town day for me. So I figured Isola Blu, a great day to wear it. Kind of can take care of what I need to take care of and smell great while doing it. If you're not familiar with this fragrance, a very nice citrus fragrance, lemon, lime, a little bit of an orange feel, maybe even a little bit of a slight grapefruit feel in there, but it's not overly tart. It's just very, very zingy and refreshing and juicy, in my opinion, mixing with very nice aromatic notes, lavender and thyme like aromatic notes in here, and this collection of nice clean woods at the base of the scent. Smells great. And let me tell you, when I wore it that day, I was so happy to be wearing this again and just kind of analyzing the fragrance as the day went along, and oh my gosh, it just smelled so good. This is one of my favorite warm weather citrus based fragrances in my collection, and I already knew I was going to put it back into the rotation as it has warmed up, and this was just a good day to pull it out. So once again, from Roja Parfums, this is Isola Blu. All right, guys, we're going to move on to Tuesday. Tuesday was a very busy day, so we got 2 fragrances for the scent of the day, or scent of the day / scent of the evening for Tuesday. So scent of the day is going to be from bond number 9. That is the scent of peace for him. Bond number 9, the scent of peace. This is another one I haven't worn in a very long time. I think it had been over a year since I've worn this fragrance. I already talked about in a previous video how I actually have also just been keeping it off the channel because it allegedly was not available for a long time, but I think that time has passed, so it's available again, so I don't mind talking about it. It never got discontinued or anything. It was like a supply chain issue or an ingredient issue, but that's neither here nor there. This is, some people are going to compare it to a Ventus, but it definitely has its differences. Black currant in here, very tart and juicy, pineapple flavored citrus, I will say that much, but it's very, very tart with a lot more of a black currant accord. I do think black currant is in a Ventus, but it's much heavier in this, and also a blast of juniper is in this, adding this refreshing watery green characteristic to it, and it's kind of a woody musky base, relatively soft woody musky base in my opinion. This one smells great. It's not one I go for a lot, but anytime I wear it, I really do thoroughly enjoy it. So it was just a good scent for that day, but I also knew that I intentionally wanted a fragrance that was not going to last into oblivion because I knew I wanted to wear a second fragrance. So I wore this for my main work, which I'm not going to go into detail, but that was kind of a waste of time. I was there so long and basically did nothing. So I was annoyed at that, but all that being said, the fragrance got me through the day. It smelled nice. I don't think I got any compliments. I was kind of avoiding a lot of people because I was just sitting around. I'm like, man, I'm gonna go do this or do something while I'm just waiting for you guys to be ready for me. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Bond number 9, scent for peace. A very popular fragrance from the house. A lot of people definitely enjoy this scent DNA, and as it continues to warm up, this is a great fragrance for that environment. But I will say, in my opinion, I don't know if it's a complaint for some people, it's not a super long lasting fragrance, if you will, but I wouldn't say it's a weak fragrance. I get maybe good 6 to 8 hours out of this, which is totally fine for me. So once again, from bond number 9, this is the scent of peace for him. All right, second fragrance for Tuesday. This would be the scent of the evening. It's coming from Xerjoff. This is 40 knots. Xerjoff 40 knots. So for the second half of the day, I actually had to go play a musical gig. I was playing drums outdoors for the second half of that day. So naturally I wanted something that was a little bit more powerful, which 40 knots certainly is, over the scent of peace. Yeah, that's pretty much it. And also, again, as I was stating, as the sun has been going down, it's still a little bit cooler. It's not like ridiculously hot as the sun goes down. So this fragrance is like perfect for that time of day at this time of year. So what is 40 knots if you're unfamiliar? It is kind of similar to Dior Ombre Nuit, which is a very ambery floral fragrance. I don't really get much florals from this, but you definitely get a good amount of amberiness. It's kind of honey sweet, if you will. Has this slight spicy profile, maybe a cinnamon-like spicy profile. A little bit of a kind of a sea breeze, watery, fresh air kind of quality to it. It's a very interesting fragrance, a little bit confusing for some people because it's just not what you maybe think it would be, but all I know is it has its fans. I love this stuff. It is long lasting, it is powerful. You don't need a ton of sprays for it to do what it does, and man, does it smell excellent. So yeah, that pretty much gave the reason why I chose this, and I was just kind of in the mood for it, and it's also one that I actually haven't worn in a while, so I wanted to give it another wear. Not a ridiculously long time, but it was like, you know, hey, I haven't worn this since it's been warm. And I like to wear this fragrance when it's cold and warm, so that's why I wanted to pull this one out, and that was just the perfect occasion for it. So once again, from Xerjoff, this is 40 knots. All right, guys, we are on to Wednesday, and the scent of the day for Wednesday is coming from Tiziana Terenzi. It is Ursa. Tiziana Terenzi, Ursa. All right, so this is another one that I simply wanted to pull out and wear in warmer weather. This is another one that I also like to wear when it is cold and when it is warm. I think you get slightly different wearing experiences from either temperature setting. I'm not saying it necessarily smells different. I'm just saying the way it interacts with the air is slightly different. But this fragrance here, complex fragrance. It has some dried fruity notes, some boozy notes. It has leather accords. It has woody accords. It has some oud-like facets. It has some incense-like facets, and a little bit of a resinous characteristic as well. It's a very complex fragrance. You know, I don't really like calling out people in my comments, but somebody was like, are you sure this fragrance has all that? The main note is patchouli. I'm like, if all you're getting from this fragrance is patchouli, your nose is broken. There's so much going on in this scent. But anyway, that is neither here nor there. This is a complex fragrance. Patchouli may just be one of the things to achieve the awesomeness of this fragrance. So what was I doing on Wednesday? This was kind of a travel day for work. I had to drive down to Miami. I didn't really see anybody. I wasn't really interacting with anyone. I just had to get there. So the first half of the day, I didn't do anything. I was just tired from the previous day. So I was kind of resting up, and I think I shot a video before I left. And once I got there, I didn't do anything. I wish I could have. I wish I had gotten there a little bit sooner. I would have loved to check out the niche perfumery that is down in Miami. I forget the name at the moment, but I really do want to get down to that at some point, but I just didn't have the time or the energy, so I edited a video once I got there. So with all that being said, I just wore what I wanted, and I wanted to wear this because I haven't worn it in a while, and I thoroughly enjoy when this fragrance is on my skin. So pretty simple, right? Once again, from Tiziana Terenzi, this is Ursa. All right, guys, we're moving on to Thursday. Scent of the day for Thursday was from Nishane, and that is Papilefiko. Nishane, Papilefiko. And guess what? Another one I haven't worn in a while, so I wanted to drag it out. Perfect time of the year to wear it as well, although I think you can wear this at any time. If you're unfamiliar with this fragrance, it is a very zingy, spicy, clean fragrance, if you will, that really features some lighter resinous notes, if you will. Really nice lemon, cardamom kind of brightness to the scent. A really zingy, refreshing lavender is in this fragrance. There's also, I think, some coriander in here, which is a little bit more of a savory spice, in my opinion, with a green facet. I think you really can pick that up in this fragrance. And it has slightly smoky incensey, maybe not incensey, but more so resins, if you will, and kind of a dry woodiness also. This stuff smells amazing. Shout out to Justin Copeland again for kind of pushing this one into the community. I did actually blind buy this based off of what he was saying about it, and this is easily one of my most successful blind buys as a result. And I absolutely love this stuff. It's great for work. It lasts all day long. It smells great. It definitely can garner some compliments. What did I have to do Thursday? As I already stated, Wednesday I had to travel down to the Miami area for work. So Thursday I was just doing what I needed to do and then just coming on back. So that's pretty much it. So I just wanted to wear this because I knew it would be good for that. And also I knew it would pretty much last all the way up until I got home. And that was the case because even later that night, when I was basically getting ready to wind down for the evening, my mom even picked it up off of me. Matter of fact, she could smell it on my daughter because I was holding my daughter, and I guess some of it kind of got on her clothes or whatever, and my mom was like, yeah, that smells good. So yeah, this fragrance here lasts all day long easily. It's an extrait de parfum also. You kind of expect it to at least stick around on the skin, but it's a very pleasant fragrance. And if you haven't checked it out yet, check it out. See if you can get a sample of it. This is some really good stuff. So once again, from Nishane, this is Papilefiko. All right, guys, let's move on to Friday. Friday was a long day, man. I had to play 2 musical gigs and 2 relatively longer ones. I had one late morning into the afternoon, and then I had to leave that one and go do another one. So I actually wore 2 different fragrances because one was outdoors, one was indoors, and I had just enough time to shower after that first one. So scent of the day, first scent for Friday, is coming from Nishane also, and that is Hacivat. Nishane Hacivat. Look, anytime it's warm and you're outdoors, this fragrance here is perfect. Luckily, it wasn't scorching, but it was warm enough. But this is a fragrance I love to wear during the day, especially if I'm outdoors. It's my second favorite fragrance in my collection. Very juicy, sharp citrus, pineapple flavored, a lot of bergamot in here as well. Quite zingy of a fragrance. A lot of oak moss, adding a very dry element to it. Oak moss, cedarwood, playing into the woody nature of this fragrance. There is a little bit of a floral facet just kind of hiding in the fragrance at the heart of it, and also some very light patchouli-like characteristics in the scent. I feel like I never really got that until I got a little bit more used to the fragrance and kind of got over how awesome the citrus element smells. But yeah, this fragrance here, favorite of many. If you don't like the oak moss, try Hacivat X. It really turned down, if not outright got rid of the oak moss element, but still gives you a similar citrus profile. But yeah, I love wearing this stuff. It easily lasted throughout the gig, and I was quite sweaty, more so for setup and breakdown, but I was sweaty by the time I got home, and I could still easily smell it on my skin, even though I was quite dirty at that point, but I did have to wash it off for the next venue. So once again, from Nishane, this is Hacivat. All right, second fragrance for Friday is coming from Tom Ford, and that is going to be Tobacco Oud. Tom Ford, Tobacco Oud. So as I stated, this is me going to a different musical gig where I am playing drums. This one's more indoors. It was kind of like a restaurant bar combo with a nice stage and all that. I knew I wanted to go for something that I hadn't worn in a while, which I haven't worn Tobacco Oud in a while, but I also frankly didn't want anything ridiculously strong. Tobacco Oud is not a weak fragrance, but it's nowhere near as strong as something like Hacivat. I just know I didn't want anything that strong. So what is this fragrance? I actually sprayed it quite heavily, and that was the first time I sprayed it heavily. And I gotta say, the whiskey note really comes out when you spray this fragrance heavily. And I would say it just kind of adds to the edge that this fragrance has. You definitely can pick up this kind of blend of spices. I don't really smell a particular spice. I would say the spice profile is actually pretty similar to oud wood. You definitely can get the oud-like facets in there. You get the smoky, slightly smoky, should I say slightly ashy tobacco elements. It's kind of the blend of tobacco, oud, and woods that this fragrance has that ultimately comes across as a little bit of an ashy feel to me, and a really nice sandalwood patchouli kind of base in this scent as well. One of my favorite base combinations in fragrances similar to this. But yeah, that's what I wanted to go for with this fragrance. It smells great. It's good for that type of occasion. We were actually wearing all black anyway, and I think this fragrance just kind of matches that vibe. It's like an all black fragrance, if that makes sense. So that's why I chose this one for that occasion. So once again, from Tom Ford, this is Tobacco Oud. All right, guys, we have finally made it to Saturday, and once again, I got two fragrances for this day. So the scent of the day is coming from John Varvatos, and this is Artisan Pure. John Varvatos, Artisan Pure. Now, this fragrance is another one I think I literally haven't worn this in a year. If I'm not mistaken, the last time I wore this was actually when I went on vacation last year around this time frame. It was like a cruise to, Caribbean islands, if you will. So this was naturally going to be one I was going to bring along. And I got to tell you, this fragrance is still amazing. This is one I feel like I always have to have in my summer arsenal at a minimum. Orange, like citrus here, but it's not overly powerful. It's not overly sharp. It's very, very smooth, very, very balanced, if you will. There's this kind of, I don't know how the best way to describe it. Maybe like a wood shrubbery kind of smell to it. Petitgrain, I know, is one of the notes in here. I feel like I gotta smell Petitgrain by itself. I'm not that familiar with what Petitgrain smells like by itself, even though I've got fragrances that have it, but I feel like I can't really pick it out. But I'll do a little bit more research on that later. But yeah, that's what you get from this scent. You get that, you get this kind of wood shrubberyness and just other woody notes as well. It's very refreshing, very relatively light, and I don't mean that weak, I just mean it's light in terms of how it comes across, and it smells amazing. And this is an easy, like, daily wear fragrance, especially if you're doing some leisurely activities. All we did was go and get some breakfast that morning, and we had to take my mom back to the airport, so this is what I wore. And I knew ultimately later on I was going to wear something else because I had another gig, musical gig that evening as well. So this is what I wanted to wear throughout the day because I just wanted something light and refreshing and something to kind of lift my mood because once again, I was tired. It's been a long week, but this one here really fit that bill. So once again, from John Varvatos, this is Artisan Pure. All right, guys, so the last fragrance for this video and the second fragrance scent of the evening for Saturday is from Algabra Parfums. It's Jamaican Tobacco. Algabra Parfums, Jamaican Tobacco. So this is another one I simply wanted to bring out because I haven't worn it in a while. I actually have never worn this when it has been relatively warm. Again, it wasn't hot. It's still getting cool at night, but it was warm. I've never worn this fragrance in any other environment. And I still am a big fan of this scent. Still my favorite tobacco fragrance at this time in my collection. And here's what's interesting about this fragrance. I just found out that the notes got released. For the longest, you couldn't find any information on this scent. It wasn't even listed on the website, even though it's been for sale for like a year. Crazy stuff. But anyway, the notes are on the website, and so I was just guessing as to what I was maybe smelling in here. I think I said I feel like there's like red berries kind of vibe in this scent. I said there's maybe some cinnamon-like spice, and then I said a relatively clean tobacco, and then like some woody notes, and definitely some kind of sweet element. Well, they released the notes. It's blackcurrant, bourbon vanilla, cedar leaf, clary sage, Jamaican coffee, nutmeg, oak moss, and tobacco. Blackcurrant, never would have guessed it. I mean, I could maybe understand it, but I'm like, it's not really a tart citrus smell I'm getting in this, or should I say a tart fruity smell. I thought it was relatively smooth and juicy, but that one threw me off. I definitely didn't see the clary sage. I'm like, clary sage? Okay, I don't feel like I'm smelling clary sage, but whatever. Nutmeg makes sense because nutmeg maybe blended with some other stuff can make you think of cinnamon, even though it doesn't smell like it outright. And I always kind of felt like it was cinnamon-like spice in this, but maybe not 100% cinnamon. The coffee element, I think, is just kind of a testament to the fact that this fragrance is meant to represent something from Jamaica. I don't smell coffee outright in this scent, but I do get earthy notes, so maybe that's just playing into it. And again, the tobacco is, I think it's just a smooth tobacco, and it does, it's just a good tobacco fragrance overall, and still smells amazing. I still think it is a little bit similar to red tobacco, but this has actually sat on my shelf for a while. And I do feel like now there's maybe even a greater separation from this and red tobacco. You can smell the differences a little bit more clearly now, but it's still a similar style fragrance. But it's overall simpler, cleaner, higher quality, and frankly, just better in my opinion. But that's just me. So once again, that was the Saturday wear, and this was for another gig. And I think I sprayed too much when I came home. My wife was like, dude. All right, anyway, that's neither here nor there. Once again, from Algabra Parfums, this is Jamaican Tobacco. All right, guys, that is going to wrap it up for this weekly fragrance rotation video. If you want to, down in the comments below, feel free to let me know what you wore over the past week, or maybe what some of your best wears was for the past week, or if you got something new in you and you're testing it out. I would love to see what you guys have to say. Thanks again for watching all the way into the end. I really do appreciate you guys. Please remember to be well and smell well, and I will see you in the next episode of The Fragrance Well. Have a good one.